Welcome to the Out of Bounds podcast. This is your host, Jabril McKeithen. Just wanted to shout out Anchor real quick. Thank you guys, Anchor. If you guys don't know what Anchor is a free streaming website. It allows you to create and edit your own podcast right from your phone, y'all. Right from your phone or your computer, whichever one y'all choose to do. It is free, which is who doesn't love free, man? Who don't love free? But Anchor will also distribute your podcast for you on streaming sites such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and many other podcasting sites that you probably don't know about or just are unaware about. If you didn't know, also, Anchor will allow you to make a little bit of money from your podcast as well, which is always a great thing. We love to do that. It's basically just everything you need to make a podcast. It's just right in there. If you guys are interested, go check it out. Download the free Apple or Anchor app, and then you can go to anchor.fm to get started and start editing your stuff. All right, y'all. Let's get into the podcast with your host, Jabril McKeithen. Welcome to the Out of Bounds podcast. Welcome back to the Out of Bounds podcast with your host, Jabril McKeithen. Hope y'all having a great day. The weather was really nice today. We had our high of like 64, I believe it was. So hope y'all enjoyed that day. Got y'all nice sunshine. Got the rays of sun in y'all. But let's move into the podcast, y'all. Like I've been talking to you about, we all know what we're talking about. NBA basketball strictly at this point. But let's get into it. No real games playing today or really this past week because the All-Star game was here. If you guys didn't know, it was a pretty good game. I was at work watching it. It was pretty lit. So let's talk about that a little bit. We'll talk about the Nets. They made a good signing in Blake Griffin. We'll talk about the three-point contest. Steph Curry won that one. And then we'll talk about a couple of trade targets for the Sixers. So nothing too crazy this episode. Probably won't be too long, but we'll see where we go. We'll see where we get. So let's get into the All-Star game. It was pretty good. One thing I didn't really like about was the jerseys. The jerseys were god ugly this year. I really wish they looked a lot better. They kind of looked like racing cars or something like that. Looked like they had racing prints on the jersey, so it wasn't too attractive. The colors were kind of ugly, especially the yellow jerseys, but hey, I guess I can't really complain. I'm not the one who makes the jerseys, but if the NBA somehow is looking at this, Commissioner Adam Silver, please fix your jerseys. I beg of you. Please make them nice. Do something better than what you did this year, but that's for a whole nother year. Let's get into the game itself. As y'all know, if you guys didn't tune in, or if you guys did tune in, you guys know that Giannis Antetokounmpo was the All-Star MVP. He won the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP award, so that was good to see. People were debating if Giannis really deserved it because most of his shots were kind of lucky shots or just a bunch of dunks. And yeah, he went 16 for 16, but is that really an attractive way to win the MVP the way he did it, banking like 2 threes, and then he only made one real three? So that people were complaining about that. I personally don't really care. I think whoever wins it, if you score the most points, I think that's what it comes down to. If you're electrifying, I think that's how it will work. That's how it should work. But going 16 for 16 is pretty impressive. We know Giannis usually doesn't shoot threes, so seeing him hit 3 for 3 from 3 was pretty good. I was pretty impressed with that. But yeah, that was the All-Star MVP. Going into the game itself, it looked pretty good. LeBron James only played a couple of minutes. It's looking like the age might be getting to him. He wanted to take a little rest. Didn't really want to play in this game so he could rest up for the second half of the season that is coming up for us. But he got his rest. Stars like Damian Lillard, Steph Curry were getting the recognition and the respect that they deserve, they need, especially Damian Lillard being out in Portland. He definitely needs the respect. I give him all the respect in the world. He's one of the greatest shooters that we probably know. Probably not as good as Steph Curry, but he's up there, y'all. Don't sleep on Damian Lillard. Very loyal to his franchise. Hopefully he keeps playing at the high level that he's playing at right now. He ended the game with, I believe it was 32. Him and Steph Curry. Oh no, Steph Curry finished the game with 28, and then Damian Lillard, like I said, he did finish with 32. He ended the game for him. He got to the target score of 170 for Team LeBron to win. That was dope. He had 2 half-court shots. We know Lillard as Logo Lillard. If you guys don't know that nickname, Logo Lillard. We all know what he could do, waving off Paul George at the end of the game. And in their series, I think it was, how long ago was that? I think it was like 2 years ago or something like that. So it was cool to see that he had the range. That's legit. He can pull up from the half court. Even Paul George himself said it, even though he said, yeah, it was a bad shot. he went up to Damian Lillard after the game. He was like, "Oh yeah, maybe it was a good shot." So he finally understands that. He finally understands what Damian Lillard is capable of. The East, they were looking all right. Bradley Beal was their leading scorer with 26. Kyrie Irving, he started the game off hot, and then I didn't really see much else from him. He finished with 24, but he started off the game real hot. He was looking good. I thought the East was going to be into it a lot more than losing by 20. I thought there was going to be a lot closer this year. But this year, LeBron picked an OP team, y'all. That's an OP squad. I knew it was over once he had Steph Curry and Damian Lillard coming off the bench for him. I knew it was over after that. But that's all I really had to talk about the All-Star game. So let's move on to other things that happened in the All-Star weekend, such as the three-point contest. If you guys didn't watch that, that was pretty exciting. We seen Steph Curry and Mike Conley. Those are really the two who made an impact at the final round of the three-point contest. Mike Conley had 27. He put the pressure on Steph Curry, but Chef Curry himself, he doesn't feel pressure when it comes to shooting threes, y'all. He don't feel that pressure. It's easy. The threes look like free throws for him, honestly. They look mad simple. I wish I had the form of Steph Curry. I don't really got that type of form, but that's what it's looking like. He can shoot that thing, y'all, and he proved it once again. He made sure to shout out Klay Thompson, saying that the trophy was winning. He won the trophy for him. Shout out to Klay Thompson. I hope the recovery is going well for you. Hope you make it back into the league, back into the rotation next year. Get back into your former self. Get into the shooting stroke that we all know. Hope you're doing well. Hope the recovery is going great. But like I said, Steph Curry didn't end up winning it. It was a good competitive battle. Other than that, that's really all there is about All-Star Weekend. That was good, at least. Let's talk about the ugly now. Let's talk about the ugly of All-Star Weekend, such as the dunk contest. You guys can reply in the comments or wherever you see this at what your thoughts on the dunk contest was. But personally, for me, it was during halftime this year. I know they had a little condensed all the All-Star events. But honestly, I believe I would have liked watching commercials rather than the dunk contest this year, guys. It wasn't exciting, and I was on Twitter looking at tweets and stuff, and maybe it's this. I was looking at a tweet and it said, we got spoiled with Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon, that dunk contest. We're all expecting something like that, something crazy like that, and we just aren't getting the same excitement that we had in that dunk contest. But people were going around saying, should the dunk contest be ultimately replaced with one-on-ones or something like that, or a horse or something like that. One-on-ones would be a cool experiment to try out. See, that I feel like that would be more interesting, especially if you're going to do it in a COVID season during halftime or something like that. Having like 4 or 6 players going one-on-one, people who want to participate in it, going one-on-one, getting buckets on each other, finish probably like a ladder or something like that to see who makes it out on top. Who's going to win the ultimate one-on-one game. And then I believe that was way better. That would have been way better than the dunk contest this year. Nothing was really popping out to me. I was kind of bored watching the dunk contest, honestly. But I'm sure sooner or later, if they keep doing the dunk contest, we're going to get the same electrifying feeling that we got when we watched Zach LaVine and Aaron Gordon. I'm sure someone's going to be able to bring it out. Someone's going to bring the energy, because this year it wasn't nothing too crazy. The dunks weren't anything special, like jumping over a mascot that's on a hoverboard, spinning 360, all that type of stuff. But sooner or later, someone's gonna bring something creative. Somebody's gonna bring something electrifying for us. But that was my personal thoughts on the dunk contest. But that's all I really had to talk about to y'all about the All-Star Weekend. Pretty good. It went really well from what I seen though. They were able to raise a lot of money for charities and stuff, so that was a good thing to hear. But let's move on. Let's get into some Sixers talk a little bit. So, if you guys didn't know, the Sixers All-Stars, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, unfortunately had to sit out the All-Star game due to contract tracing, due to one of their barbers getting COVID. And unfortunately, they couldn't play in that. It was pretty embarrassing. I wanted to see Joel Embiid get out there, dominate against everybody that's out there, just probably the same way that Giannis was, because we all know that nobody can guard Joel Embiid in the paint. He's a monster himself. He can shoot the three himself as well. Seeing Ben Simmons get out there playing fast, playing hard every play, as LeBron James called him, Mr. Play Hard every possession. We know what Ben Simmons is capable of. It would have been nice to see those stars out there. But Doc Rivers was kind of hoping that Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid were going to be able to play for this game that's coming up on Thursday against the Chicago Bulls, but ultimately that's not happening. It's kind of upsetting. As Joel Embiid said, # they hate the process. they really do hate the process. They don't want to see us thrive. They want the Nets to be in the 1 seed for whatever reason. But I'm sure our stars, especially if Tobias Harris is back, will be able to play to the level of the Chicago Bulls. We got to wait and see for that. But Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons will both be missing the games against Chicago. And then Joel Embiid will be back against Washington on Friday, but Ben Simmons won't be. He'll be back on the Sunday game against the Spurs. So it will be a little bit of time for him to get back. Hopefully they come back into the flow of things. Hopefully they don't get something like the Seth Curry, like he had poor shooting. I can't find a word for it. I'm just stuttering. I can't find a real word for it. But he's been been on a downplay. But hopefully that's not going to happen to Ben Simmons as well, Embiid. Hopefully they get into the natural flow of things. Once they come back, we'll wait and see. Y'all. But that's just something that happened for the Sixers right now. Another thing that happened for the Sixers, their G League team, the Delaware Bluecoats, they advanced into the second round of the playoffs that they're in right now. It is single elimination games. I didn't really watch the stats or the highlights and all that, but hey, we'd like to see one of our teams, one of our affiliations being recognized, being able to go far into the playoffs. Hopefully they end up winning the championship. I know one of the players that was part of the 76ers team that played against the Denver Nuggets, if you guys remember, Paul Reed, he's been playing well in the G League. Isaiah Joe, I believe he's still with them. He's been playing well as well. He dropped 28 points, but hopefully they keep it up. Hopefully they bring a championship for themselves. They'll be getting NBA experience by NBA level coaches and stuff and staff. So that's good to see for them. Hopefully they keep developing the players and making them good enough to fit on our roster, because Isaiah Joe could definitely be a good player as we've seen him been playing. So hopefully he keeps that up. We just got to keep waiting and seeing. But one last thing I want to talk about for the Sixers, just a couple of trade targets. I've been seeing a lot of rumors about PJ Tucker. Last couple of videos I was talking about Kyle Lowry being traded. We'll see what happens with that. Nothing's really been updating with that. But some other trade rumors, as I said, PJ Tucker, he's averaging 4.4 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, 1.4 assists, shooting 31% from 3 and 37% from the field in total. PJ Tucker, I would like. He would be a nice bench piece. He's a good shooter. He could come off the bench and shoot for us, play decent defense. As you know, he's been playing the 5 in Houston when they've been doing their small ball lineup without a big man. So that would be a nice little extra addition for us for shooting-wise and shooting purposes and stuff. So it'd be nice to see if we could get him for something cheap, or if he gets bought out, we could just buy him or give him a nice small veteran contract. So that would be good. That would be nice to see. There's a tweet on Twitter that I seen. I don't have the @ or the name for who tweeted it. Sorry about that, but I will give you respect. Terence Ross, I would like to see that trade, or Evan Fournier, nice, good 3-point shooters. Terence Ross was the video that pointed out that he was good off the screen, which would be perfect for players such as Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. He could come off the screen from one of those players and get a floater, 3-point, layup, something easy. He looks real fluent. He's averaging 15.5 points per game, 41% field goal from the field, and then for his 3-point percentage is 34%, which is very good. So can't be mad at them. If we could get him, it would be nice to see. It would be nice to get a nice piece to get off the bench. But hopefully we'll see what keeps developing. Another player that the Sixers or rumors have been looking at are Larry Nance Jr. And I didn't think this would be much. There would be much discussion on Larry Nance Jr. But he's averaging 9.3 points per game, 6.8 rebounds, shooting 48% from the field, and then his 3-point percentage is looking 38%. Which is nice. I didn't know Larry Nance Jr. could be shooting like that. I didn't know that he was a good shooter. Honestly, in my eyes, I really haven't been watching the Cleveland Cavaliers. They've been going through what looks like a rebuild. They're going through a process right now, so they aren't really making too much noise right now. But we'll see what keeps happening with them. We'll see what keeps happening with the trade targets. But those are the main 3 that I would see. Those are the main 3 that I personally would be all right with, because they would come off our bench. They probably wouldn't be anything too high, to anything expensive that we would have to give up. Nothing major for us. Our team would still be intact and still look perfectly fine. But that's all for the trade targets and stuff. That's really all I have for the Sixers news. So like I said, I've been doing Nets watching the Nets, because that is one of the teams in the Eastern Conference that we really are going to be fighting against. Really going to probably it's going to probably come down to us or them at this point, or if another team ends up winning it all, going to the finals, just like the Miami Heat did. Anything is possible, y'all, so don't sleep on any other team that is making the playoffs. Anything can happen in a 7-game series. So the Nets right now, if you guys really didn't hear this, I'd be shocked if you didn't, but the Blake Griffin signing. Blake Griffin actually got bought out by the Pistons, and that was a whole bunch of money that the Pistons had to buy out for him. I think it was almost like $39 million, $40 million. So he got his money, got up out of there, and now he's going to a contender in the Brooklyn Nets. Blake Griffin is averaging currently 12.3 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, and 3.9 assists per game. A crazy stat that came out earlier in the season was that he hasn't dunked the ball in like almost 2 years. So Blake Griffin isn't the Blake Griffin as old as we know. He has turned himself into more of a three-point shooter rather than a high-flying dunker that we know like Derrick Jones and all those type of dunking players are. He's more of a three-point shooter, kind of can facilitate the ball a little bit more. But he's not the Blake Griffin of old that we once all knew and loved. The guy who jumped over a car in a dunk contest, over the hood of a Kia in a dunk contest, and was winning dunk contests and being invited to dunk contests as much. He's had a couple of injuries which has brought his career down a little bit, but is this a good sign for the Brooklyn Nets? Honestly, I'm undecided on this. I really have to see how he fits in with Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and James Harden. Is he going to fit into the role of pretty much just being a scorer, just being there, just being able to help that team? I'm not sure how much of an impact he's really going to have because I'm not sure his defense is really all up to that, if it's all that. His scoring, 12.3 points per game. I'm not sure how much that's going to affect them. It's nice to get him for free instead of having to trade him from the Pistons. So if a player gets bought out, that's always a good thing for a team. So really, I'm still on the side, and I'm not really sure how much of an impact. I'm not really too worried from this as a Sixers fan. I believe this doesn't really change anything, but we'll just have to wait and see. I do like the signing. It is more depth from them, especially at a big man's perspective. So we just gotta wait and see. Really, he's a power forward. I think he's 6'9", 6'10", or somewhere around there. So we really just gotta see what Blake Griffin really has left in the tank. We'll see how much he fits in with this team. James Harden, Kyrie, Kevin Durant. We'll see how he fits in. See if he gets along with everyone there. But this season it comes with many uncertainties. We don't know what's going to happen. COVID could affect teams at any time. COVID could affect the players at any time. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be an interesting offseason. It's gonna be an interesting postseason for us guys. But that's really all I had to talk to y'all about today. Like I said, there isn't really much Sixers news. No games dropping. The games start back up on Thursday, March 11th. So I'll be back with y'all once those games start up. Hopefully we get some career highs from some new players such as Furkan, Tyrese. Maybe he gets another career high, gets more minutes. Tobias, we'd love to see him get a career high, keep balling, keep hooping. But thank you guys for tuning in to the Out of Bounds podcast. If you guys liked the video, please leave a like, leave a comment. Like I said, if you guys want to let me know your thoughts, suggestions, anything like that, just leave them in the comments. If you guys really enjoyed what you like, please subscribe. Don't feel scared to subscribe, y'all. But like I said, thank you for tuning into the Out of Bounds podcast. Hope y'all enjoyed. I'll be catching up with y'all next week, hopefully. All right, thank you. Have a good one, y'all.